What's going on, guys? It's Johnny Moore, and if you didn't know, this past Saturday, June 19th, I released my very first single under my own name. Now, for a second, if you stopped and said, I've seen this person, but I don't know what his name is, you might know me also by Saving Dreams. Now, Saving Dreams is the band that I'm a part of. It was my solo career, but we turned it into a full band. And even though I'm excited for this new journey for Saving Dreams, I still wanted to sit back and kind of create that solo music that I was doing as Saving Dreams. Now, that solo music is going to be under my own name, Johnny Moore. You can find any of my socials at Johnny Moore Music. Now, the style that I'm trying to go for is kind of your modern day pop, also with throwing in my own twist of kind of just some other genres that have influenced me over my life. So today I just want to take the time to talk about Middle of Night, which is my first single, and what it was and what it became. So I wrote Middle of Night in February, and it's kind of funny because I was laying in bed, it was in the middle of night, and I just had this melody in my head. I could not stop singing that first verse. I woke up in the middle of night and I wrote you a song. After I developed that melody and kind of put those lyrics on it, which they were different, but each melody just kept starting to just match up and match up and match up. Now, one thing that I do struggle with is I write things or I come up with things and I forget them. So what I decided to do in the middle of night is open up Logic Pro and start recording something. And now the song did come very naturally, it just was building and building and building, and I did not have any writer's block at all. It's just all of it was just flowing in at once. Once I was done recording the demo, I was very excited. I loved the way it sounded, personally, because I'm also trying to record my own music, or at least just on an amateur level. So that was a stepping stone for me, and I also loved what the song meant to me. Now, when I write music, I write it to connect with people. I want people to feel like they're not alone, like there's other people in this world that feel exactly how you do. So after I finished the demo and I posted it, the first thing that I talked about was possibly writing music under my own name. And now the first thing that came to my mind was I have to go get this professionally recorded. And the person that I always go to is David Sustaita. Now, I've been working with David since 2017, since Saving Dreams started. Now, that kind of shows a lot that I'm able to stick with one person for 4 years, but there is a lot of story behind that. When I first met David, it was more than just oh, hey, this guy's my producer, or hey, this guy's recording my music. It just kind of felt like there is a connection there, because over the years, he's really become a friend to me. He's been there for me, he's talked to me about stuff. It's just a lot more. And this kind of connection that he builds with his clients makes it feel very natural, very comfortable when you're in the studio with him, with whatever you're creating, whatever genre, whatever with what's going on. So he's not just invested in the music, he's also invested in you. Now, after I hit up David about the song, he's always quick to reply, he's always very hype about it. He just gets you excited. Now, if you want to hear what the song sounded like before the studio, it's on my Instagram. It pretty much was just acoustic and vocals. And when I sat down in the studio with David, that's kind of just the idea I had. And he kind of just took that idea and just turned it into something that you would never think about. And now I feel like I am very good at songwriting, but what I don't do good at, kind of just adding things onto the song, making it sound full. And that's where David comes in. And it's not one of those things where he's going to take full control of the song and what you sound like, because that's one thing that you want to stay away from, right? You don't want somebody to control who you are. He's always going to be hitting you with questions, right? What does this sound like? What do you think of this? What do we add that, right? How does this make you feel? The whole time you're pretty much going to be knowing what's going on and what's being developed. And he does a really amazing job at co-writing, so you never really have to worry about, hey, is my song not sounding full? And so he's not someone that's just there to record your music. He's going to make sure he takes your song and turn it into something that could possibly blow up. And I can guarantee you there's nothing that left his studio that didn't sound like it was on a professional level. And back to the song Middle of Night, it was just acoustic and vocals. He took that, started adding a little piano. He was like, how does this sound? I'm like, that sounds amazing. And it was just one thing after another, and it just started all coming together. And if any of you could have been there to see the smile on my face while at the studio, you would understand why David will always be my go-to guy. And I would say he's gotten to the point where he's perfected what he does. Now, I know there's always room to grow, but he's just somebody that I look up to, somebody that, you know, I want to be like one day, because like I said, me, myself, want to be able to produce music, write music, and being there doesn't feel rushed at all, right? He makes you feel comfortable, kind of just to the point where you can just trust, right, with whatever's going on. And for us, typically we knock out one song within 3 to 4 sessions. The first session, we pretty much just a pre-production. He gets my tracks. It's usually like 1 or 2 tracks, and we kind of just, you know, add layers, add stuff to it, take stuff out, cut it up, you know, just do a lot of things that will be the final version. The second session, we'll kind of just look back and say, hey, this doesn't sound right, or hey, we should actually put this here, kind of just making sure everything is tight. After the second session, the song is pretty much done. It just needs to be final track. So the very last 2 sessions, we usually just track guitar and do vocals. And what I love about him is he will tell you what sounds good and what doesn't sound good. He will listen to me sing one line for 30 minutes until I get it right. He'll tell me, don't sing it like this, sing it like this. No, don't do that. You're emphasizing this word too much. Just all these little things. He will be able to hear that. And I wouldn't say it's like a criticizing thing, just more like a critiquing. He just very pinpoint, because he wants the song to be perfect, and he will get you there. So I encourage y'all to listen to what Middle of Night was and what it was after David produced it. And y'all would just get this idea of what he will be able to do to your music. So if you haven't, I would highly suggest that you book a session with him or watch his live streams, right? Just figure out, hey, what's going on with this guy? Get to know him, right? Like I said, he's a very chill guy, very cool friend. He's funny. So shout out to my man, David. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for my music career. And if you haven't listened to Middle of Night, it's out on all music platforms. There's a music video out for it. Let me know what y'all think. Thank you.
I woke up in the middle of night and I wrote you a song.